Hello, friends. Welcome to Science Talk. I'm your host and resident oceanographer, Jim Massa. Okay, so today I wish to discuss with you marine mucilage, or commonly referred to as sea snot. And yeah, we can make light of it, but it's a serious issue. And before I go any further, I want to give a big shout out to Dr. Beryl Simmercheck, who alerted me to this topic. So I will also have include a short video of divers swimming through this stuff here at the end of this video, also courtesy of Dr. Simmercheck, who's kind enough to send it along to me. So thank you, Beryl. So what is marine mucilage? What is sea snot? It basically is thick, gelatinous organic matter that is found around the world's ocean, but seems to have increased in its prevalence, especially in the Mediterranean Sea. Now, its composition is complex. It can carry numerous microorganisms. What are the causes of its increase in prevalence and being visible and just, showing up as this thick, gooey material? Increased phosphorus, maybe drought conditions, and global warming. Now, admit it, you can't say you're surprised. The effects of marine mucilage, sea snot, widespread. It affects fishing industries. It smothers sea life. For example, like maybe it coats the polyps of corals, thereby suffocating them. They can't filter feed. Or it gets in the gills of bivalves or fish. They suffocate. It then, in addition, it spreads bacteria and viruses. And of course, governments, at least some governments, are trying to take measures to deal with this issue, including, maybe cleanup of the seawater, some sort of treatment, other means. There are many components that comprise a sea snot. I've already mentioned you can find a wide range of microorganisms. You can have viruses, prokaryotes, exopolymeric compounds with colloidal properties. That's what helps gives it its gooiness. How's that for a very scientific term? Gooiness. While having multiple vague and inconsistent definitions, it is agreed that mucilages can be a varied class of complex chemical substances as well as complex natural materials. The composition of sea snot can change over time. Each different type of marine mucilage is not only defined by mucilage, but the specific components that comprise the particular sample you are examining. Some components are not necessarily mucilage molecules, but microbes, debris, proteins, minerals, viruses. You get the idea. The generation of marine mucilage is due to the large increase of phosphorus, often measured to be 3 to 4 times higher than the previous year, and then other excessive nutrients. Those increased levels combined with drought conditions, prolonged warm temperatures, and calm weather will promote its growth. Marine mucilage is also produced by phytoplankton when they are stressed. So now let's pause there for a moment and consider, why would phytoplanktons be stressed? Maybe the surface waters they are found in is getting too warm for their liking. Maybe the oceanic surface layers are stratified. They're not getting enough nutrients. Even though, you may have an increase in phosphorus, what about nitrates? Nitrates. What about those chemical species? What about silica? If you're a cold water primary producer, obviously not here in the Mediterranean, but So there are other nutrients that phytoplanktons need. But if you have an abundance of phosphorus, then the phosphorus could be basically overloading their cells. It's sort of like in some ways, I would view this as a type of eutrophication taking place in the ocean. Excessive nutrients that then you might get an algal bloom, but then you do what? You crash the dissolved oxygen level because the biological oxygen demands spike. So it could be similar situations here. What are other reasons for where the phytoplanktons can be stressed? What are other possible factors to help promote sea snot? Well, climate change, right? We just alluded to it. Warmer. We know that the oceans are increasing. The temperature is increasing rapidly. 2021 set new oceanic sea surface temperature records, and even temperature records, deeper than 100 meters. So we have that. Warmer, slower moving waters increase the production of marine mucilage and allow it to accumulate in huge blobs. In the Mediterranean Sea, as an example, the frequency of marine mucilage has been shown to increase with more warm temperature anomalies. Now, the effects, the significance of it is now becoming a public health, okay, as well as presenting, economic and environmental issues around the world. Excessive marine mucilage was observed clumping at least as early as 2009, while marine mucilage was first reported way back in 1729. Now, sea snot is not known to be toxic to humans, unlike, say, the red tide issues, where there are toxins that are harmful to humans. However, there are still some public concerns associated with it. You know, it has a complex makeup, so it has been shown to contain pathogenic bacteria. It has been shown to transport marine diseases. And these marine diseases spread by the sea snot will affect both marine invertebrates and vertebrates. Right now, the best knowledge we have is that for the moment, it is not toxic to humans. Economic impacts can include well, of course, it's heavy in the Mediterranean Sea, so it's going to impact that basin, but it presents a problem to the fishing industry. The sea snot can clog fishing nets. And of course, if it's heavily thickened, of course, the fish will try to avoid that, but you could have this coating their gills, presenting problems to the fish. It's aside from aesthetically not pleasing, visually, it produces a bad smell. And basically, the advice is don't go into the oceanic water, don't go into seawater. It's unsuitable to be in. Environmentally, I just mentioned the issue, and I mentioned this earlier about coating the gills of organisms. Basically, which cuts off their oxygen, they suffocate. Marine mucilage floating on the surface of the water, this is a critical aspect, can also significantly limit sunlight that reaches the marine ecosystem. That would affect primary productivity. That could be a major factor for stressing out the phytoplankton. Here's an interesting thing. The Deepwater Horizon oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico created large amounts of marine mucilage. Now, scientists are not sure exactly how the spill caused so much sea snot to form, but one hypothesis could be the result of a massive kill of microscopic marine life, creating a quote-unquote blizzard of marine snow. Okay, what is marine snow? Basically, marine snow is dead organisms that basically sink from surface waters, from pelagic regions basically, all the way down through the water column, typically settling on the substrate where it can get packed down, creating layers that over time scientists will then pull a sediment core and we can examine it. But basically, marine snow is dead planktonic material, phytoplankton, zooplankton, other small organisms that simply sink through the water column, accumulating on the substrate. So one of the concerns is that scientists have with this marine mucilage is that it could pose a biohazard to surviving marine life in the area. And it is currently understood to be that the marine mucilage left by the Deep Horizon oil spill directly resulted in the loss of sea life in the Gulf of Mexico, as evidenced by a dead field of deep water coral 11 kilometers from where Deepwater Horizon took place. Mediterranean Sea. And you can see this photo right here. The Mediterranean Sea has observed the worst effects of sea snot as the year 2021 experienced exponential growth as it reached a tipping point in the Mediterranean and other seas. In early 2021, sea snot spread in the Sea of Marmara due to pollution from wastewater dumped into seawater, led to proliferation of phytoplankton and posed a great threat to the marine biome. The port of Erdek at the Sea of Marmara was covered by this basically mucilage. Turkish workers embarked on a massive effort to vacuum up this gooey stuff. And give you an idea of the gooiness of this thing, take a look at this photo. Pretty, pretty slimy. Now imagine that on a large scale. And there was the Yalakoy port in Ordu province, found in the Black Sea, that also saw a huge piling up of sea snot. What are some short-term countermeasures? Well, you can collect it. You can put deploy barriers. Other long-term countermeasures would be improving wastewater treatment, so basically reduce the eutrophication. So you want to create marine protected areas and limiting climate change. Good luck with that, considering how everything's exponentiating. Another possibility could be introducing marine species would consume the excessive nutrients. It all depends what these species are, but anytime you introduce species that are not endemic to an ecosystem, watch out. There are always unforeseen circumstances and unintended consequences. So I would urge extreme caution on thinking about that measure. And another way is to basically go out there and clean the crap up. Just get a big ass vacuum and just suck it all up. Really, it's probably your best measure. It's tedious, it's time consuming, but really, that's the best way to remove it, and then to take the steps of reducing the overload of certain types of nutrients. So this is something that's an issue. And again, my thanks to Dr. Simmercheck for alerting me to this. And so now I will conclude this video with this video. Basically, a couple scuba divers swimming through sea snot. So, until next time, thank you for your time. Hello folks, this is Jim here with Science Talk, asking you to please subscribe to my channel and to inform others of my channel and of the work that I do. Please share to social media platforms that you use. Also, as a reminder, don't forget to click the bell so that you know when I load up more videos. Finally, I ask that you support the work that I do by becoming a patron at patreon.com. Details in the description box below. Thank you for your support.